Lord Potts frowned at the rusty guard of his sabre, and the metal immediately became gold-plated. Potts reined his capricious black stallion closer to the first sergeant. "Report!" the first sergeant bellowed. "Fourth Hussars, all present."
So that's what it sounds like, and that's what you're going to get at the end of this video. I'm going to do my first video on how to configure this text-to-speech app that I've been working on using the ESP text-to-speech voice, which is really good. It's a neural net voice. So I'm doing this on Ubuntu 18.04, and the first step here is I need to make sure I have my NVIDIA drivers installed, which just base Ubuntu doesn't have that. So I have all of the links in the description probably, and I will put this in here. But the first step is to go here and get what your devices are. So I'm going to open up my terminal. I'm going to see, okay, what are my devices, what are my drivers, and see, okay, what is it going to recommend that I install for my NVIDIA driver. And yeah, it looks like well, excuse me, it's going to be this NVIDIA driver. It's going to be this NVIDIA driver 460, which is, I think that works for everything that we're going to be doing. And so I'll do the auto install for this driver, this task here, and then it will install this. And then after it's installed, we need to reboot the system. So I'm going to reboot the system after this is installed, and the next step is going to be, I believe, to install CUDA onto this computer to make sure that we need to make sure that we're at CUDA 10.1. So we need to make sure our NVIDIA driver is installed, and this is just to make sure the graphics card has all of the things that it needs to work. Pretty simple stuff. And then the next step is going to be to install CUDA. So CUDA is a toolkit for machine learning, and a lot of machine learning is done through the GPU, and that's why you should install CUDA. So, and this voice is using machine learning, so that's why we're going to be installing CUDA. So this is the first step, though, is to install the NVIDIA graphics card drivers with those commands, and then restart. So I'm going to restart here, and we'll see you in a second.
What we do here is go back.
So I did mess that up, and I had to go back and fix the profile, and fix a couple of things that I messed up on. And then after I did that, and NVC dash, I believe it's then you do this command mvcc-s version, and you can see that now I'm at officially the kata release that I wanted to be at. So now I'm going to come back in here. Cool. I'm at the kata release that I want to be at. So let's check the NVIDIA. I guess we can check the NVIDIA driver as well, just to be sure. We're still at the 460, which is good, but our kata version is definitely at the 10.1. Now let's exit out of here, and I'm going to install Python as the next step here, because all of the other packages and everything that are in this, everything is running on Python, and all the other packages that we need, Torch and everything, this all needs Python 3.7. So let's just check and see, what is my Python version? I don't have Python on here. Okay, so we're going to do Python install Ubuntu 18.04, and we already checked to see the version. We'll humor these guys. We'll update. It's never a bad thing to, well, sometimes it is a bad thing to update, but if they tell you to update, just update. You don't always actually need to, but it's usually a good thing to do. Now you're just going to be like a robot here and install and follow these instructions here. You basically install the software, install this PPA repository, this Dead Snakes PPA. Then you're going to have to update again, and then sudo apt install python. No, not 3.8, 3.7. But it's basically the same command. It's pretty, like I said, a lot of this stuff is really, it seems pretty robotic, but you just need to make sure that you pay attention, and if a step doesn't complete completely in the correct way, then you need to make sure that you go back and fix it. So like, so interesting. So see this here, sudo apt install python 3.7. Let's see this 3.7. Huh. Well. Okay, so try number, I don't know, 3 for Conda, Anaconda. I don't know why, I was having a lot of trouble. So I found this YouTube video, and this is what I ended up using. And so I basically went to the Anaconda site. I downloaded the file onto the site, and I clicked on this. And I just downloaded the file. So I'm in my, excuse me, I should not have opened that. Probably crashed my text editor. Yep. Yeah, so I found it, I downloaded it. Now the only thing I need to do is run this bash command. So I say bash and then space this name, and then you're supposed to read this thing and press install. And after you do that, then it'll take a little while, and then it will install. Okay, so I'll go through this again. So I did finish installing Conda from that video, and I tried to install Socket. It turns out that you install it via just a normal type of CLI. I thought it was either going to be a pip install or a Conda install. So it looks like it's just a freaking regular install. So like I said, I'm going to share some of these and this code. So I'm going to have to install time. Usually when it calls it, I mean, yeah, so now I'm installing. I think I already have time. It looks like I'm gonna try and let me see if I can try and run this right now. This is actually kind of what I do. I go in here and I try and run things as soon as I can, and just and then I see, okay, so it looks like torch. So I got all the way down to torch. So let's just see if I can install torch via pip. Pip install torch. Why not? So it's going to take about a minute, and then I'm going to keep trying this Python text-to-speech piece of code that I have here. And this is basically from this, this is basically exactly what Michael Bay does in his videos, his 2 videos on text-to-speech. I can't even find them right now. I mean, they're ESPNET, these two. And so he shares them. They're on his GitHub. But I made one change, and I put I didn't want the system to play the file, so I just commented out the playing of the file, because what I'm trying to do with this is create a audiobook reader from this machine learning algorithm, this waveform generator. So what this does is it basically loads a model into it loads a machine learning model that's already been trained by people who are presumably pretty good at this. So then it converts it to text. So now let's try this. Sound file. No module named sound file. Pip install sound file. Let's see. Oh, yep. All right. No module named ESPN. Oh, this one's the one that's a challenge. So pip install this ESPN model zoo. And this one's going to take a couple minutes as well. And then I believe we're going to have to do this waveGAN utils too, but you know, we'll see. We'll see. And last time I think I had to like remove numpy and reinstall it or something like that. I actually wrote a comment on one of these
Copy the cell.
or one of these YouTube videos. Once again, like if you're trying to look into this a little bit more, make sure that you watch this video. Okay, so that that installed, I believe, and now we're gonna try this one more time. There's no way it's gonna work. It's parallel waveGAN. So let's see this. Pip install. I knew it was gonna say this. Parallel waveGAN. All these things are modules that are used in this utility. So the first time that you run this, it takes a little bit of time. But then after you have it run once, it completely works instantaneously, and it's crazy. It's better than basically anything out there, unless you have an enterprise agreement with Azure. They have a platform out there that's extremely expensive, but if you really want it, you can use it. So we'll see. I think, like I said, I had a trouble with NumPy. Last time I actually had to blow away my operating system and put this back on here, because I was a dummy and partitioned too little of disk space on my original, and I filled it up, I believe, on accident. I'm not sure if that was the reason or not, but I had a lot of trouble with my OS, so that's why I figured I will reinstall this and kind of show everybody, the world, how to do the same thing that I did, so that maybe they can use this for their own purposes, because I think it's really cool. Maybe y'all can start putting books together, audiobooks together that I can use and post them on YouTube or something. That's what I've been doing a little bit of, and I'm hoping to use this to automate the creation of audiobooks of all of the public domain audiobooks, and continue to improve the ability of the program to scrape public domain books and convert them into extremely high quality audiobooks. And so I'm learning a lot about audio engineering right now to make the sound even better than the machine learning algorithm. Basically using the same types of things in the future that that like sound engineers use, except automating that through Python, because all the voice is exactly the same for all of it, and I think you can improve it. Here is the end product of the process that we're about to go through using ESPNET to create full audiobooks. So I'm posting all of this code on GitHub, and here's what you do. I run my my TTS ML, which is basically running the ESPNET, and then I run another piece of code which I developed called the text miner, which basically takes any EPUB file, and I also have a text miner text only, and it creates an audiobook based on that. So you can see in my other terminal, this is the work that's being done to create this ebook. This is a thought for tomorrow, and it takes probably about 20 minutes for a several hour book, but in this situation it's probably only a 15-minute book, so it created pretty quick. The book is a thought for tomorrow. So it creates the book, and then it creates an MP3 version of the book, which is much more compressed. So you'll get the MP3 version of the book with the author's name as a title, as well as the picture of the book as a separate entity. And you can see that this is 11.5 megs. It's not that long of a book, so we're going to listen to what the output is.
A thought for tomorrow, Turbot.
Whoops.
Gilbert. Transcriber note. This ethics was produced from Galaxy Science Fiction, November 1952. Extensive research did not uncover any evidence that the U.S. copyright on this publication was renewed. Lord Potts frowned at the rusty guard of his saber, and the metal immediately became gold-plated. Potts reined his capricious black stallion closer to the first sergeant. "Report," the first sergeant bellowed. "Fourth Hussars, all present."
So that's what it sounds like, and that's what you're going to get at the end of this video.